So I'm back here in the big storage unit. I lubed up my motorcycle chain a little bit. It's been a while since I've been riding. It was too cold for a long time, and then I've just been super busy. But I had a car I had bought at auction, just to flip, parked in here for like a few weeks. And I put this pan under it because it was leaking a little oil, I noticed when I pulled it in here, but it still leaked some. I threw some speed dry on it, but it stained the floor, and this thing is not dirty like that, and I don't want to leave it like that. So I'm trying to think about what I could possibly do aside from just this oil dry, which does help a little bit on how dark it is. I don't know what else I can do to get some of that color out of it. I may come back with like a can of brake cleaner and see if that'll lighten it up a little. This week I started off, I took a load of OSB on the flatbed down to Charlotte, and then I got down there, and then my buddy wanted me to pick up a load for him. He's a broker, and he wanted me to pick up a load for him not far from Charlotte, maybe like 100 miles out of Charlotte, and bring it up to Sparta, North Carolina, which I go up there pretty often to pick up. I don't usually deliver up there, but to go up there, it's like a switchback mountain type of situation, pretty steep. And my coolant gauge stopped working on my truck, but right as I was coming up, there isn't any good place to pull over, and I just started coming up, and the truck overheated really bad. Well, this isn't any good. Just coming up this hill here, my fucking temp gauge just stopped working at the bottom of the hill, and now here I am. I think I blew it up, man. I hope I didn't, but I think I dropped a liner because it won't even turn. This is no good. Shut down in the worst place possible, honestly, and I thought for sure I blew it up. I was hitting the starter and it was just going clunk. It just wasn't turning, and I let it cool off for a while. We brought in another truck to take that trailer off me. So I had my buddy come and rescue me. He came and took the trailer off me. It was an absolute fiasco. I was on the side of this curvy ass road, and yeah, it was a real issue. But he came and took the trailer off me, and by the time he got there, I had cooled off enough that I was able to get to a safe spot to stop for a little bit. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem like there's coolant in the oil at this point. Hopefully that remains to be the case. And when it started up and was running pretty strong, and yeah, but my coolant gauge just stopped working right in the middle. You know, when I started coming up this hill, I just wonder if I just overheated it or what I did to it. But so we put a bunch of water in it, maybe like 4 gallons. Took off with it. There was a bunch of water leaking down, like dripping down and leaking and dripping off the front bumper. I don't know if that means the radiator's leaking or what, or if that's just the overflow. The one thing that's a bit different is the truck it sounds a little more clattery than it ever did before. I don't know if you can pick it up here. It's not real bad, like not like an engine knock or anything, but it's got a little bit of blow-by coming out the blow-by tube now that I don't remember it having. So you just listen to it. So I can't really tell if I hurt something or what, but the truck feels strong. So I don't really know. When I get home, I'm going to probably go ahead and change the oil, take a look and see if there's a bunch of water in the oil or debris or anything, because the compressor is loud anyways. So I might be hearing a little bit of that if it's under 120 pounds of air on it. So I'm not sure how much of what I'm hearing is the motor and how much of that is the compressor, but I just want to get home where I'm not stranded and dig into it. If there's damage on it, then damage is done at this point. I'm not going to tow it home. So right now, we're just filling it up with fuel. I wanted to see if that leak was still going on. I haven't been hearing the fan hat coming on a lot, which it'll do when the water does get low. These pumps at this location kick off early. But yeah, when the coolant gets real low on it, it'll turn the fan on a lot more often, so you can kind of tell. But we'll just have to kind of dig into it over the next day or two and see what's going on. I filled it back up with water, drove it home, and seemed okay. And I brought it up to a guy here in town that does a lot of work for me and let him look at it, and he thought, well, if you made it this far, you just gotta try it and see what happens. So this all happened on Tuesday. Wednesday I didn't do anything because I was trying to make sure my truck was good. Thursday I took another load from Chesapeake, Virginia to Chase City, and that whole ride it was like losing coolant at 2 or 3 gallons an hour. It was crazy. So the truck seemed to be running okay, so I took it out for another load just to see what would happen, and this thing is just drinking down some coolant. It seems to be leaking somewhere that I didn't already find. I've had to put 6 gallons in it today, and I've only been driving maybe 4 hours, so it's consuming it. It's leaking it at about 2 gallons an hour now. So I got a load on right now of about 45,000 pounds worth of crane mats. I'm gonna go get this dropped off and head back to the house and see if I can track down what's going on with it. But it drives fine otherwise. That little ticking, knocking kind of sound's got me nervous, but it's got plenty of pulling power. It's really just doing great. Aside from that little sound, which you can't even hear going down the road, you just hear it at idle, and even then, it's not really clear that it's a problem. So we'll get this delivered and go from there, I guess. Oh, and before I forget, for those of you that wondered what the jigs were going to sound like loaded, there it is. That's just the top gear, rolling about 65. So it's not that much louder, but it is different for sure. I was supposed to take 2 loads of that, and I didn't end up doing both loads because I didn't know what was going on with my truck. I brought it back. We pressure tested the cap and the radiator. Found one that the cap wasn't holding any pressure. You would think it would blow pressure off when you open it hot, and it wasn't doing that. It was just, you just open it, nothing.
They won't hold none.
Yeah. So mine should still hold 10.
But that's...
Man, that thing holds a lot.
Yeah, I hold 20.
Well, I'll take that cap then.
You don't need a whole lot. You don't need, just cause it says see that, yeah, see, it won't hold no more than what the cap's supposed to.
And then it
16.
blows off. Yeah. But
then,
does mine even say? Oh yeah, right there in the corner it says 10. Yep. And then because the cap wasn't holding any pressure, without pressure on the radiator, you couldn't tell that the radiator was really leaking when you were idling or anything like that. You could just see remnants of coolant just everywhere being flung off by the fan. And so we pressure tested that and found that huge leak. Well, I put the pressure tester on the radiator itself and full of coolant, man, and it's just pouring out. You can see it's coming out of the radiator core. So this is gonna need a new radiator core for sure. Yeah, this is no good. No bueno.
I can probably push it in.
Yeah.
And let me let it down.
Just slide it in.
Keep your leg, keep your leg up against it, so I don't want to get your head up there. You ready? Yep.
Yeah. Well, this feels like deja vu. We got the radiator out again. It's been the worst day to do this job anyways, because it was raining all day, and then as soon as I finished, it cleared right up. But luckily this time I had a little bit of help. I still did most of the work. The only thing I had help with was taking it out, but it made a big difference. Last time I did this, I hurt my back pretty good trying to lift this radiator out, but with a couple extra hands out here, it worked out good. So got that out. Today is Friday. So I'm gonna take the weekend off, and then on Monday I'm gonna carry this radiator up to the repairman, and he's gonna patch it for me. They did that for me before, and it cost me about 150 bucks. So hopefully he can patch it again. It won't be too bad. If I have to recore it, it's gonna be pretty expensive. So we'll have to play it by ear, but hopefully by Monday we'll be back up and running. Took the radiator out, and I'm gonna see if I can get it patched. Hopefully I can, and then we'll go from there. But at this point, I'm just down until the radiator gets fixed up. So that's what I got going on now. So it's tough, man. It's like you do some work, try to make your truck nice, you lose a little time doing that, which basically is like spending money, and then literally the next week you have issues, and here we are. So just everything kind of hit me all at once. But I got the motorcycle, a little bit of service on the motorcycle. I haven't ridden this thing in months, so it's starting to get nice and warm. So I think I'm gonna take it for a ride and just kind of relax, and I'll catch everybody in the next one. If you like this video, subscribe for more, and I'll catch everybody in the next one.